Niue is about to receive the first visit by Governor-General of the Realm of New Zealand. His Excellency Lieutenant General the Right Honourable Sir Jerry Mataparai and Lady Janine Mataparai will arrive on the island on Thursday. Honourable Premier Toke Talangi said it is important for the Governor-General to visit and see firsthand the developments that have taken place on the island.
Our arrangements are at the present moment is that I'd like him to meet all Niueans if that's possible. When he arrives, he'll meet the members of Parliament and so on, as well as the HODs. But also on Saturday when he goes up to the or Friday, I'm sorry, when he goes to the National Show Day, he'll meet a lot of people up there as well, and on Saturday. So essentially, we've planned everything so that he can meet a lot of people. The young people I've just talked to would also be meeting him and asking questions of him. Some of these things we've never done. We're trying to include everybody in, if you like, meeting and talking to the Governor-General as much as possible. He is very personable. I found him extremely well-spoken and very personable. I liked him. But with respect to his Maori group, I think that's what they normally will do now, that a person of his stature and standing will take with him a group that will help represent their views from a cultural viewpoint.
The agenda for the Governor-General also has some new initiatives in place for the visit.
I said to the students and to the young people, look, it's an opportunity for you to meet people like this. It's an opportunity for you to express your views with regard to how you see the place. It's a consultation process which gives them that opportunity. We've never done that in the past, and I thought it would be a good idea to allow them at least that time, and it's only half an hour, but at least that time to talk to the Governor-General, to see what it's like, to ask him some very personal questions that I've seen in the questions that have been prepared and sent down to him so that he can prepare his responses. But I think he'll enjoy it. I'll be there, I'll enjoy it, and I hope that the students and young people will enjoy it as well.
Sir Mataparai will spend 4 days on the island before visiting the Cook Islands. A familiar face has been appointed New Zealand High Commissioner to Niue. The announcement was unofficially received today by international media. Ross Ardern, formerly known as Chief of Police for Niue, is now the island's new High Commissioner from New Zealand. Honourable Premier Toke Talangi said he is very pleased with the appointment.
I'm very pleased. Ross is an old hand here, and he's just changing his title to His Excellency rather than Chief. But I am very pleased that he has been appointed.
His Excellency Ross Ardern left Niue to take up a role of Police Superintendent for the Pacific Islands based in Samoa a few years ago. However, he will return to Niue as His Excellency Ross Ardern to take up his new post in February next year. Politics, Propositions and Perspectives is a new book about to be launched tomorrow by one of Niue's academics. The title could be a reflection of a movie blockbuster, but according to the author Maru Talangi, the contents of the book is closer to home.
The book is about the history of politics from the first time the inhabitants came to Niue, and then from that period of time onto the missionary, and from the missionary time to the annexation in 1900, and the beginning of New Zealand's administration in 1901 to 1974. And then from that period onwards, that's when Niue became a nation.
That sounds very comprehensive. How difficult was it to write it?
Well, it's not very difficult. I tried to keep it as simple as I can, because writing about politics is a very complicated issue. I've included the period from 1990 right up to the present time. So it's actually a chronology of events, which to me it's something to leave behind for the next generation. Of course, we may not appreciate it now, but the next generation will appreciate it.
Why such a challenge task?
Well, like I said, it's my daughter who put the idea in my head. So I said, okay, 3 months, it will be done. After 36 months, it's finally completed.
Anything controversial in there?
Not really. Well, I sort of kept my belligerence to myself.
That must be very difficult for you.
It is, for a book, you're not writing a thesis. A thesis requires a lot of detail, right? For a book, it has to be compacted so that it's not very expensive to print it.
What was the most difficult part in compiling the book?
It's fitting into time with my plantation work and also my other commitments.
Now, from writing your book, and obviously you sort of dabbled in some sort of politics in your years here on the island, what do you think so far, what changes have you seen since way back then to now?
Okay, from 74 up to now, the basis of politics is basically reflecting the relationship of the mangafawa. All right, the bigger the mangafawa, the better the chances are for anyone who wants to be a politician. And also, the politicians sort of manipulate the system so that they can remain in those positions of power and privileged positions. Okay, so because they know the gains by being a politician.
The book, he said, can benefit many in years to come with his views of what island politics is and interpretation by foreigners.
What we're trying to do, my daughter, who's the publisher, is to deposit it, to get it legally deposited, so that it goes on the list of new books, so that education people, universities, high school, and all other interested parties can order.
The book launch will take place at Pacific Way Bar tomorrow afternoon between 2 and 4 p.m. Niue Tourism's International Wahoo competition got off to a good start on Saturday, what was the first 4 days of fishing. 21 international anglers made the special trip to compete in the event, and there were 31 locals who entered the canoe fishing competition, all with one common goal: to catch the elusive big one. However, it was somewhat chaotic on the wharf, with many eager visitors and locals getting in to admire the catches of the day. Weighing in started at midday, had some canoe fishermen scrambling in just before 12, while boats had to wait for a bit before bringing in the anglers and their catches. The heaviest wahoo was caught by Lawrence Nola, weighing in at 28.1 kilograms. The heaviest other fish, a barracuda weighing 13.5 kilos to Lawrence Nola also, who also took out the prize for a total weight of 49.4 kilos, catching 2 wahoos and 1 barracuda. The canoe category was just as impressive. Young Floyd Siafiviliamo caught the heaviest wahoo, 18.2 kilos. Heaviest other fish went to Poikapanga with his dogtooth tuna, weighing 23.1 kilos. Poikapanga also claimed top prize for the total weight, catching a yellowfin tuna and a dogtooth tuna with combined weight of 33.4 kilos. Day 1 was a major success, with roughly 40 fish caught from the boats, with total of about 391.9 kilos. For the canoe fishermen, there were 28 fish caught, weighed a total of 263.6 kilos. Support was also provided by the Niue Waka Association. The competition will round up tomorrow when it will be apparent who is the overall winner as Niue Tourism tally up individual efforts over the 4-day event. A yacht in the middle of town is a bit of a strange sight, but the Blue Marble has now been relocated from the wharf to a private property near the Niue police station. The yacht Blue Marble has been sold to the highest bidder in a local auction 3 weeks ago. Blue Marble was uplifted and relocated further inland after it had washed up onto the reef a few weeks ago, creating a stir to recover the vessel before any further damage was sustained. Last week, locals were surprised to see the yacht had been moved and traffic was held up slightly in the early hours on Thursday morning. According to sources, there were 2 local bidders interested in purchasing the yacht, but they lost out to a couple who bought the yacht for $52,000. The new owners are French yachties who sailed on their own yacht, Philemon. After some discussions and negotiations with a local landowner, arrangements were made for the yacht to be moved. The new owners are expected to return in April of next year to do repairs on the yacht with the intention of sailing it out at some point. And in our news bulletin for tonight, Avasela Village donned the colour of sunshine and some say the colour of money on Saturday during the village annual show day. As fishermen flocked to the wharf early morning to join the international Wahoo competition, many bypassed the event to head south of the island for a great cultural experience. Visitors and locals alike said the day showed tremendous support for local products and the event to continue for many years to come. Umu-baked food, barbecue, baked goods, sweet treats and much more welcomed the visitors to Leolau. A reminiscent of yesteryear acknowledged the water vessels of coconuts that ancestors create to transport water. Even a little of the infamous matangini whale mentioned by young ladies was also a nice touch of culture. Young children, under the guidance of Esther Bavihi, created a flurry of excitement as children compete to create toys out of coconut thongs, very much like those in her days at Leolau. However, as everyone knows, the Village Show Day's popular activities are the food and dance performances. The young matangini whales were more popular than the warriors this year, with many performances from the young ones to family showcases and, of course, the women. Though much of the groups performed to the traditional and mixed sounds, 2 young men also took on the pop stars to belt out some favourites. The last performance by the male youths of the village ended the performances with numbers much loved by the crowd. And that's our news bulletin for tonight. We also wish you a great 39 Constitution celebration this week.